Alright, let's see if I can do this. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, my eyes are hanging out of my head, but see how we can get it to work. Alright, so we're going to add a new domain, and what are we going to call it? I'm going to add and we're going to go advanced settings. Okay, so I'm going to use Cloudflare for my DNS settings. I usually use a dual screen to do this, so if I make a mistake, I'll have to come back. Was that TXT? I can't even remember. Make sure there's no gaps. That's always a way to stuff up when you're trying to propagate it. So make sure there's no gaps between the cursor. Okay, so we're going to do MX. Yeah, it's one of those days. And what do we got left? We've got C name. So lucky last. No gaps. Can't tell you how long it took me to work that one out. Once upon a time. Now here's another important one. If you're using Cloudflare, make sure this one is not proxied. Switch that off. Okay, now let's see if she's going to take flight. All systems are go. Bing. Now you might want to do this one as well. Anyway, we'll go to this one here first. Right, so what we want to do is we want to add obviously a user. So we're going to call him info. Now he's in there. Make sure we copy that password. So I usually just open up a notepad. So I'll put that password in there for this method in my madness here. So we'll copy that. I don't know what's going on. My mouse is not really giving me a lot of love here today. Okay, so we've got the email address, we've got the password for the email address. Now we want to get some sending API keys as well. And the reason why we want that is because we'll need that for our WordPress site for our SMTP credentials, which you can use using Fluid Forms or something like that. That's so when your form comes in that it fires off to your email. So make sure you keep a copy of that. It's pretty important. I'm not going to set that up today because I haven't actually got a site spun up for this localcalls.com.au yet. Right, now what we want to do is, so that's all done. What we want to do now is we've got to set up a route. This is where a lot of people go wrong when they try and sync it up with their Gmail. So we're going to make a route. We're going to match recipient. And the recipient is going to be the email address that we've just spun up. We're going to forward it to the email address that we're going to be using for our proxy, our surrogate email account, which is going to be this one here. For me, it's leadxleads@gmail. So I'm going to put leadxleads@gmail.com. Not going to worry about storing anything. Don't have to touch anything else here except create the route. Okay, now we're done. So, what do we want to do next? We want to make sure we can use this as our email platform. So we're going to add another email address. And we're going to call it local calls, and it's info@localcalls.com.au. Next step. Come on, mouse. Now the SM. Oh, I forgot to write that down. Usually it pops up here. I have to go and find that. Yeah, where do I put that? Okay, should have saved this one, sorry. So we'll put that in our little notepad. We'll need that. And where'd you go? That's why I like using dual screens. This just drives me nuts. So username is obviously going to be local calls, which is it's just our email address. And we're going to whack the password in that we've saved. And it should work. Boom. Right, so now what we have to do is we've got to wait for our little friend Mr. Google to send us our little code. Okay, Google's given us a little confirmation code. There's a couple of ways you do it. I don't really know which way is the right way, but you know what I do? I verify it both ways just in case. So I'll whack the code in here. Boom, it's verified, and I'll also click on this one as well, just to double check, as I'm that kind of guy, you know. Now what we need to do is we need to go back to our settings. So it's all synced up now with Mailgun. And you just want to make sure you got this one clicked on here, okay? When replying to messages, reply from the same address to which the message was sent. So basically, if an email comes in, info@localcalls.com.au, if you reply, you don't have to worry about which account you're replying from, right? It'll automatically reply from the same email address that was sent to. So now you're using Gmail as a beautiful little surrogate, and, yeah, using all their storage space. Now, if you want to go one step further, you can set up the email address with a little bit more authority. The reason why I do that is because you get better deliverability for your emails. And it doesn't take that long to set this one up. Okay, so we're going to grab this here. This is actually a pretty good site out of all the ones I've looked around at. This is one of the best. So TXT, whack that in there. Grab this, copy, put that in there, make sure there's no gap, save, verify. Boom, already done, look at that. Now we want to go one step further. We want to set up a DKIM record. I just press S1. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. Okay, so just S1 will do. Make sure your key links matched up to the original setting in your Mailgun, which is 2048. Generate the record. So I grab this down here. You can copy these private keys if you want to store them away in a safe spot for whatever. Just usually come back here. Add record. We've got TX. Now whack that in. No gap. Come back again. Grab the code. Okay. Save. And we're done. It's all done. So, I don't know what's going on, it's frozen, S1. Boom. Right, so deliverability is now through the roof. This thing's got a few other little things, reputation scanners. This BIMI, this is if you want to, have your logo verified, so it's basically connected to your account. It's just the next level of authentication. I haven't gone down this road yet. I will now because I've actually added a new feature to it. It was almost, I actually could not get the image the way they wanted it. As much as I followed everything they said, and I'm a graphic designer, it still wouldn't work. They've now added this converter, which should make it a lot easier. So basically it's just to verify your logo and it's uniform and nobody can steal it and pretend to be you. So it just helps with your domain authority. Now, I don't really know whether this thing helps with Google Signals or not, doing all this stuff. I know Google likes to know that you're a real business and they like to know that you're not dodgy. And having this set up truly means that you're not dodgy, because if you do muck up and you start spamming people, these guys will soon blacklist you, right? So it's a pretty good thing to have if you're above board and you're doing everything right. So honestly, you saw that took literally 2 minutes to set up, so I'd probably add that to your custom email address as well. Alright, so I hope all of that makes sense, and I might whack this up on YouTube and maybe it'll help somebody out down the track. Adios, amigos.